theme song. Ba-da-ba-da. Alright, now that we're done with that, time for another advertisement. This episode of the Rit is brought to you by the Writers Workout Training Program. You think writing is easy, David? You think your weak butt muscles can handle it?
I never said writing was easy, Don.
Wrong! Writing is hard work. And I'm here to train your body to be fit enough to write the biggest, baddest stories ever. We're gonna make your creative muscles burn. First off in our training program is the Typing Finger Treadmill. You're going to run those little fingers for miles to work your typing to a whole new level. Use that tiny treadmill, David.
This is so hard. Not sure my fingers can take it anymore. I thought Nano prepared me better than this.
Keep running your fingers, David. I'm not satisfied until your keyboard is covered with blood when you type. Next up is our writing yin-yang balance stretch. As a writer, you have to balance your lone wolf writing with your pitiful social life. So I've got my computer on one weighted trolley here, and David, you go stand that other one over there.
Okay, sure.
Alright, I'm standing on the trolley.
Now, I'm going to demonstrate the writing yin-yang balance stretch. Pulling my computer forward. Now releasing. Pulling David forward. Now releasing. Pulling computer. Now releasing. Pulling David.
What are you doing to me?
Now releasing. Oh man, I'm feeling great. I feel like I can write War and Peace too. But our training program doesn't stop there. Sometimes you have to read your long and epic novel aloud or record your own audiobook. To help prepare this, our final workout, the Divine Lungs of Hercules! Ah, man, what a workout! And you can have it too with the Writers Workout Training Program. Guaranteed to improve both your writing and your iron physicality. Your keyboards or quill pens will be covered in sweat and blood.
This sounds great. I'm signing up today.
Do it! Please. Blink the blink. I'm gonna need a glass of water here.
Alright.
Welcome, fellow nerds, to another episode of the Ritwit, the show where no story is safe from us analyzing, ripping off, talking about in a half-assed way, or awarding a Ritwit to without even watching it. We're so professional in our discussions, aren't we, David?
Professional is the first word that comes to my mind, Donald.
What's the second?
The second is, wow, because I need more practice.
Tell me about it. I'm still recovering from our big workout training program that we just...
How is that Divine Lungs of Hercules working out for you?
Oh, well, let me tell you, I'm no Hercules.
Well, I'm no Hercules, but I sure know how to do lung control. Probably a occupational
well,
hazard.
You and your singer person.
I was about to say occupational hazard. Anyways, we go to our usual segments, starting with what will we at the Ritwit rip off this month?
Oh, we're making that title even longer now.
No, we don't have to. I just did this time.
Oh, no, now I kind of want to, but... Alright, anyway. Alright, here we go. Hey, guess what, David? I'm reading another book!
Oh my god!
Yep, this is a book that I remember reading a long time ago, and being surprised at how good, but also how adult it is. It's Eric Garcia's Anonymous Rex. It's part of a trilogy. It's basically about a velociraptor living in the modern day, where dinosaurs walk amongst humans in secrets, disguised as humans in human suits. It doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Well, I'm just curious, is the second book synonymous, Rex?
No, it's Casual Rex.
Darn it!
All the titles are puns off of sex. The third one doesn't even bother with the subtlety and calls it Hot and Sweaty Rex.
Very adult, in other words.
Yeah. Well, like, he encounters a T-Rex who starts throwing out F-bombs left and right when he's, like, conversing with him about his case. I remember telling this to my dad when I was reading it when I was a kid. I don't know why. I think, well, maybe not kid. I was, like, 14 or so.
Okay.
But then he was like, well, to be fair, if a T-Rex started talking, I figured F-bombs would probably make sense. They're big and mean. Like, and to be fair, he's got a point. Like,
he's got a point!
Oh, yeah, exactly. Oh, our classic running joke. The running joke we had for one night that was good enough to mention on our Rit-Witty, speaking of which.
Giving a Rit-Witty without even watching it?
Yep. But nope, it's pretty good. Like, what I'm going to rip off of it, though, this is something I need to learn myself. Alright. You don't have to do extensive research on everything to make a compelling story. Now, research is good. Like, it should be rewarded, but you don't have to do it if the story doesn't need it. Like, Eric Garcia's entire research on dinosaurs I've read, he just watched Jurassic Park a few times and thought the idea was funny. And the dinosaur detective in modern day or whatever, so he just wrote it. And there's a lot of inaccurate dinosaurs, not just with like human suits, they have external ears apparently, which is not true.
Right.
And then like they're all scaly, of course, and like there's a lot of misused sort of things. Like I think the T-Rex is mentioned having 3 claws, classic mistake. And I don't know. But the point is, the story is still fun. Like it's still compelling. There's a lot of cool stuff in it, and it doesn't bother my inner dino nerd seeing it. Maybe it's the absurd premise, but more likely it's that the book has an intriguing plot that works well, and not the dinosaurs are actually depicted, you know?
Sure. And I think, too, that his story is so different that it doesn't matter if they're realistic or not.
Hey, you want a different story? Buy Megazoic on Amazon!
Cheap plug. Anyway.
I'm going to actually edit in a ding now. I do enough cheap plugs that I feel like it's worthy of a sound effect edit.
You should have like a running counter. But anyway, you know, I think that research pays off in ways that writers, you know, it's not easy to do proper research, but it really helps in writing. However, I think you're absolutely right that there are some stories that it's just not as essential as it is to others. Right,
because like a lot of times it's hard for me to write in the real world. I remember a long time ago, well, I mentioned this in our future episode about our previous old stories, but I wrote a story called Tesla Not, so I tried to. I got 20 pages in.
Yeah, better than nothing.
And it is better than nothing. It's better than some of my other stories. But so it took place in the 20s, right? Mm-hmm. And it ended up really bothering me getting everything accurate when it was like a sci-fi story about like Tesla, like getting funding when he didn't get it. And there's like all sorts of crazy tech and so maybe the little magic. Who cares?
Right. I mean, it's not going to be realistic to the 1920s if you've got technology enough that it looks like magic. At that time, it probably wasn't realistic anyway. So just, you know, give to the story. Let it tell itself. Don't worry about being completely accurate.
Right. And also, what we're going to rip off this month. I mean, not really rip off it. I just thought I'd update you guys. I said in the last podcast that the next day afterwards, I was going to see Wonder Woman with my sister and her husband and some other people. Yeah. So we saw it. We all liked it. Rip off. What am I gonna rip off of it?
A strong female character. Done.
No, what's that? I'm a horribly sexist person. I don't want no strong female characters.
Such
but to be fair, I don't like strong male characters either. I like weak pansy-ass characters.
Wait a second. What was this about your female leads in Megazoic? Are you saying they're weak?
So are the male ones.
Well, relatively perhaps, but I mean that's not a big deal, is it? Anyway.
No. Of course, I do like strong female leads. Like I like to Megazoic. There's a couple in it, right? I mean, spoiler alert for the end of it.
Sure.
But I need to have a self-censor, David. I really do. I don't have any.
So professional here.
There's a male main character and a female character who spend a lot of time together. I try to make sure that both of them have an arc in the plot that doesn't involve each other.
It's like an extreme version of the Bechdel test, isn't it?
I don't know, probably.
Well,
the
Bechdel test
sort of interesting
is two females talking about not a guy, right?
Right, but there's actually more to it than that, I found out recently. It's also, like, how many scenes they do it as well. If it's just one scene...
Then that doesn't really... Yeah, I mean,
it does count more than a lot of other stories, sadly. Megazoic actually passes it, I checked, in a scene in Chapter 4.
Alright, you don't have to tell us about the whole thing.
Spoiler alert for Megazoic, unless you want to buy it on Amazon.com.
Cheap plug!
Yeah, and every time you're going to say, cheap plug!
Pretty much.
Anyway, so Chapter 4, it's broken by the Empress and the Bounty Hunter. They talk to each other about...
About something that has nothing to do with guys. Anyway.
I mean, it's about the Terranian Kingdom, who there are none of them are female, so... I mean, as far as mentioned, but... anyways.
Alright, fair enough. But anyway, you know...
Alright, what have you going to rip off?
Well, I was simply going to say, you know, sometimes also, you don't have much time to really research, and so don't...
Oh, yeah.
Don't not write something just because you don't have the time to research. If you want to tell a story, tell a good story. If it's accurate, great. If it's not accurate... You know, you can either fix it later with rewrites or whatever, or not. Right. Not using it as a segue, but, you know, if we talk a little bit more about our topic today, you'll realize that you don't always have time to do research to make everything perfect.
Exactly, yeah.
So anyway, as far as what I'm going to rip
real
off...
time in the real world. All right, what are you going to rip off?
I was watching a newer show recently, and the show is one in the long-running Kamen Rider series. It's called Gaim. And the armors are designed in part based on fruits.
Okay.
I kid you not. the fruit thing is not the important
I'm
part.
just picturing like a coconut broth,
No.
and then someone wearing like Carmen Miranda's
I'm
hat.
actually surprised nobody thought of that, honestly. Because there even is a female writer in the show. But anyway, the show itself takes a very, very different approach to the typical writer concept. And combining these elements together, they would never go together, you think. Why is fruit something that can be used in battle? But in that harmony
throwing tomatoes seems to beg to differ. I mean, not really battle, but more humiliation.
That's humiliation. That's not battle. You know, it's this pair of ideas that don't seem compatible at all. Like, I would never imagine that they would go there and they'd tell this kind of a story. But it can be a real exciting clash seeing those elements resolve. I mean, if you'd like to know more, to throw it out, in the very first part of the show, this town has a bunch of dance troupes. They're opposing teams, and they kind of fight each other for space and attention and all that. And this turf battle is so dumb. I hate the turf battle part. And the dancing is really, really interesting because it's not commonly focused on in a Kamen Rider show. I mean, Kamen Rider is about a guy getting in armor to protect people. How does that have anything to do with dance?
I mean, there's a lot of choreographed fighting.
Well, choreographed fighting is one thing, but choreographed dancing in a show about primarily a fight to protect others, it doesn't really go together. Now, to be fair, if you've seen the show, you'll know, and for those of you who haven't, I'm just going to tell you this much about it, that it's not the main focus for the whole show. They do, obviously...
Well, that's good.
They do revolve around to the whole idea of why the person's in the armor protecting what the whole point in that is, which is very typical. But the dance theme is still there. You know, and there are so many different forces, tugging on the main characters. They don't necessarily make sense. They don't go together. He's got one person telling him one thing about this is how you should be an adult. He's got other people telling him something else completely different about how he should be an adult, which a lot of the show is him growing up, the main character growing up. So what I want to rip off from this is that I'll hopefully be less, shall I say, afraid, in air quotes, to experiment using two less compatible things to see how they mix. Because the mix could be amazing. It might be horrible, but it could be amazing, and so there's no reason not to try it.
Yeah. Right. Well, as someone who is published with the dinosaur sci-fi, I do like mixing two different things. However, I think that you should be careful on what you mix, because sometimes it doesn't always go well together. Like, and also you should blend them more than clash them. Like, I've used this example before. I might even said it on the podcast, but I forget. I compare my book with Cowboys and Aliens as an example of what not to do. That classic movie.
Classic.
Back in the... Yeah, exactly. Because no one remembers it, no one cares. It ended up being probably one of the biggest non-events of film history. It was a mix of Western and Aliens, which could work, but they did it really badly. Like, the aliens came in the West, and there was just cowboys fighting them. It was just... But yeah, it took itself super seriously. Sure. Like... And also, the people who like Westerns aren't usually the same people who like sci-fi. They're not the same people.
Right. And I'm not saying that all of these things will work, but I'm thinking...
I'm just saying, like, if you mix different things, you have to use it smartly, I say.
The takeaway...
Or just go all out. That's how Star Wars worked. It makes a bunch of different things together that no one really thought of before, and then it ended up making billions upon billions upon trillions of dollars.
I've said before, probably on the podcast, too, that it's not like there's such a new thing as a new idea as much as a new mix of ideas.
Hence the why we call it what are we going to rip off?
Exactly.
Like there's no such... Everything's a rip off of something else. Also, cherry bombs. That's our fruit warfare.
Cherry bombs. Sorry. All right, you got one. They actually did have a cherry themed warrior. Anyway, the point...
And he didn't use cherry bombs. I feel like I should have written this show a lot better.
No, they actually didn't use cherry bombs. He was
what
an
the
archer.
hell?
Sorry, I'll take the time to explain it to you some other time. But anyway,
right.
You know, but
so
but
are we ready for the next segment?
The takeaway is this: you should try. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It isn't guaranteed to work, but you should at least try it before you think, "Oh, it can't possibly work." Now, there are some things that I would draw a line. Maybe I should stop drawing those lines until it's proven to me that it really isn't compatible.
Well, again, the thing is, most people don't finish stories, a lot of people don't finish stories, right?
Sure.
But that's why you should try. Like, you're not... Even if it's a story that you think would work, there's no guarantee you're going to finish it anyways. So, why not just try? Yeah, just try something different and see if you get really into it, and then you might finish it. Who knows? Like, there's a lot of stories that people had that are just... like 1 page or like 10 pages or 20 pages or whatever, and they just like Teslanauts. I thought that was going to work, and then I just gave up on it. But I could have gone crazier. I could have tried harder, because if most of your stories aren't going to be finished anyways, why not take more risks?
Absolutely.
So,
which,
anyways,
talking about the whole writing thing. Sorry, forced segue. What we
the
at the
whole
Writ
writing
have writ.
thing in this writing podcast. Yeah, what we at the Writ have writ in this whole thing we call writing. The writing.
Where we
thing,
talk about
the writting
where we talk
thing.
about writting.
Us two twits. Anyways, so I'm writing the still unnamed. I will name it. I mean, I have a name for it.
I was
will
about to
reveal the
say
name once
it's
I finish.
named. It's just you're not telling anyone.
I will once it's finished, which is very, very close. I've just started the climax. It's just about the length of the whole story of the original, and it's going to probably be a little bit longer. You saw how thick my book is. I mean, not in person yet. You will.
Buy it on Amazon.com.
Yes, please. Follow your own cheap plug advice, David.
I already bought it on a tablet. Come on.
Okay, fine. I'll thank you for that. I didn't know that. So thank you. Oh, wait, no, I did know. That's why I said the review thing. Okay. God, no one gives me anything good that I'm just always surprised when I see someone actually be generous to me, even if they actually have already told me. So, yeah, I'm writing the Megazoic sequel. I'm almost done with it. But, since that's basically all I've been able to write at this point, because once I get into a story, I get really in. I've got plans for other stories, but they're more just, like, little plans, and I want to... And, like, after I've finished with... I'm going to edit that out, because it's about to reveal the name of the title of the book. I think I'm going to keep that in, but censor it, because it's funnier. Freudian slips for the win. Anyways, once I finish the sequel, I think I'm going to take a break from Megazoic, like a brief one, to work and focus on some other stories, like that Kavorian prequel I was mentioned in the last episode, recycling ideas and such. But anyways, one idea I had, I don't know if this will ever be a story, but this is more just a cool idea that I came up with, about a space heaven and hell. Mm-hmm. I have no idea what I'd use this with, but this is what I had. Like, sort of like planetary versions of the concepts of heaven and hell. Heaven is like a giant Saturn, which makes sense, gas giants.
Sure.
But, like, it's the gas is like the clouds that you can fly around, right? Mm-hmm. And since it's Saturn, the rings can be a big halo.
Ah.
Now, hell is a moon of this. A very, very volcanic moon. Which there often are in gas giants. Like, in the solar system, Io is a very volcanic moon that orbits Jupiter. Mm-hmm. So it could be something like that. And here's why it's a moon rather than just another planet. Part of the torture of hell is that not only being tortured down there, but every time you look up, you see heaven. Out of reach. Forever. But it's there. Too bad. You're in hell.
Well, that really gets into the theme of, like, eternal damnation as opposed to being,
Right, but that makes it even worse. Not only being eternally damned, heaven is up there taunting you.
No. I suppose it's always taunting in any sense, depending on how you write the story.
Right, but it's physically there every time you look up, because you're orbiting it.
Alright, fair enough.
You see this giant, glowing Saturn-like planet, and you're stuck in this volcanic hell.
Alright, fair enough.
I don't know, I just thought it was a cool idea. I have no idea if I'll do anything with it, but, I think we could mention ideas on what we would have writ, even if they're not actually stories.
Even if they don't become stories, I think it's really neat.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, hey, if nothing else, we can prove we've had the idea before somebody else got to it.
Right. And if someone else gets to it, I'll ask for money right away. Like, so they can buy the idea off of me. Anyways. Alright. What have you with the writ? I think, what have you with the writ?
Yeah, you got that right.
We're good.
Yay! We mentioned at some point about getting somebody's attention with an opening line, and I don't have much time to sit down and write a story in recent times, so I've done a lot of,
What are you doing on this podcast? No, it's fine.
Well, excuse me for having a job outside of writing. But
and also, we talk about writing. You know a lot about writing, even if you don't do a lot of writing. I don't do a lot of reading, and yet somehow I have the gall to be a published author.
Well,
so.
we're at different phases of the process. I do a lot of reading, and so that's where most of my knowledge about writing comes from. I do have a little experience in my own writing, too.
But
you have a lot more experience in writing your own stories, and not perhaps as much
and less
reading.
Experience in reading.
It's okay. But anyway.
We've all got it backwards, you and I. But yet we're better than you, listeners.
I was about to say define all backwards. But anyway, one of the main things that I've done is just, randomly put together, like, song lyrics and stuff. They may not see the light of day. They're a lot of fun, but it doesn't take much time to plan them. So it's kind of nice for me. However, one of the things that we talked about, I believe it was when we talked about starting a story in episode 3,
We reference this episode every time. It is the classic Ritwit episode, I say.
Well, whatever it is, it's one of
The
those
archetypal
things.
one. Oh.
It's one of those things that is really important to get your reader's attention, right? And so sometimes you just come up with really good opening lines. And so this is the opening line. I hope this is as interesting to you as it is to me. You might even want to hear about the story that I had in mind when I came up with this line. But anyway, here's the line. I suppose it means I'm lucky, but my heart had never stopped until that moment.
Is he talking about death, or is he talking about a shock? I don't know. I'm intrigued. There you go. Good opening line.
Yeah. There is context if you want to know, but that's I really like that opening line. So anyway, that's one thing that I did write. I've continued to painstakingly add to Pulsar. I got the first episode done.
Whoop 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 whoop. I don't know what was that. Here, have a official Ritwit.
Disclaimer: there's still half a page left.
Yeah. What was that? I don't. I didn't hear it, but.
I hope you hear it when you do the editing for this. That'd be hilarious.
I will. Sometimes it's difficult to hear you through the Skype.
I did that. I
anyways.
timed it that way on purpose. But anyway,
Cool. All right.
I've also been workshopping on Starburst with my co-author because he's had a multi-parter, and so he doesn't have as much experience with writing as even I do, and so he asks me to help out with that a lot. And
Right.
Trying to-
Hey, so if you're listening to this, co-author, we are both better than you by a lot.
oh well, sorry, I didn't mean it that way.
Rubbing it
Thanks
in
for
your
making-
face.
Thanks
you
for
can't
rubbing
tell
it in.
because it's recording, but I'm mooning you. No, I'm just kidding.
Please don't. Anyway, you know, it's one of those things that is, if you make time for it, it's such an important thing to do. Make the time for it. Obviously, Donald
Right.
has no problem with that, and that's why he finished Megazoic, and he's like more than halfway through this sequel that has yet to be revealed its title.
Okay, I'm going to reveal its title right now. Here, be quiet. Shh. Megazoic. The Kerfuffle of Blah!
I was even providing a natural filter for that, and you ruined it. Thanks. Anyway.
Okay, fine. You want to do it again?
No,
Okay.
no, it's okay.
Oh, you thought I was going to do
Yeah, I thought you were going to... Okay, anyway.
You thought I was going to actually reveal... No, I was going to do a joke name.
All right.
And for the context of the joke, listen to episode 6 of The Ritwood.
Which also references episode 3. Cheap plug!
Ding, ding. Okay, anyways.
Anyway.
No, but yeah.
You know,
no, I get
the
it.
thing
Like,
that's-
writing is... You have to make time to write. Yeah.
Right. And so, if you make the time for it, and you can make progress, you try and set yourself, like, little benchmarks and stuff. So, like, I'm going to have this episode done by such and such a time. I'm going to have this one done by Saturday. And if you can make those work, then, you know, it tends to be okay. But if it doesn't...
Yeah.
I go back to writing song
Then-
lyrics, just random things that come into my head.
Yeah,
Sometimes
let's
they
write something
rhyme,
little.
sometimes
It's
they
not
don't.
like a big epic story, like poems or
Yeah.
song lyrics or whatever you
And-
want. Whatever makes you feel good as a writer.
And they don't really take time to plan either, which means that you
Just
can
out of the
kind
blue.
of, you know, if you just have that inspiration, you can write them.
I'm sure there's a countless list of songs that were just written on the toilet over like 5 minutes that actually end up being like #1 hits.
You know, the sad reality of it is, though, that if you don't write them down and you forget them, that happens to a lot of my stuff.
No, they're on the toilet, but they have like a notepad while on the
Yeah, I
toilet.
was gonna say,
So-
like, you have to actually
it's
write
number
them.
2. They're sitting down, anyways. Or they're a lady, in which case they're sitting down no matter what. Anyways, so,
I was going to make a comment. I am deciding it's my better judgment not to. But anyways,
let's not. Let's just. Are you done with
I was
the what you-
going
with the
to
written-
I was
have
going
written?
to use that as a segue, but then you took it down a completely different path. So thanks.
I ruin everything. All right, fine.
No, I was going to say
What were we
because
talking about, song lyrics?
because you can come up with song lyrics like out of the blue, right? You don't
Right.
have to. Plan
What else can you
those.
come up with out of the blue, David?
Well, you can come up with a lot of things out of the blue, like entire story ideas, for example. We mentioned combining.
Oh, wow.
We mentioned combining different elements together in a way that hasn't been done before. That's really the
Right.
peak of originality in our day and age, because most of the
Yeah.
stories, most of these plots have been done somewhere.
Oh, they have. All of them have done. How can we possibly come up with something new?
Well,
Oh, wait.
let's combine some different ideas together. In fact, that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about the pure writing that comes from improv. No time to plan,
Right.
not really a chance to do any research, just have an idea and go.
Yes.
Writing by the
Right.
seat
Writing
of
by
your
the
pants.
seat of your pants. riding by the seat of your pants. Yep, we were about to both say it, and then
We both said it.
Stopped each other. All right. Oh, well, there we go. Okay, we did both say it, didn't we? All right, so I've created a program here that just makes a bunch of different categories, like a bunch of different. There's like 30 words total that I can pick, and I'm just gonna keep going until we can pick a few. We're gonna do like we're not gonna just come up with like a basic one sentence story idea. I think we should go all out. I think we should come up with a plot, a name.
Who knows? It could be.
Characters.
It could be our next co-author project.
Right. All right. So, and I'm gonna press a button here.
What we do need to do for the reader, for the listeners, we're reading, they're listening. What we do need to do for the listeners is we need to describe the terms, not like all the words that are in there, but the 3 that come up in this random idea generator. We need to tell them.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I'm gonna read them out. Don't worry.
Well, you or I could do it because I can see what you're looking at. So.
Oh, that's right. I'm sharing screen. Don't I? Okay. I'm gonna stop doing that.
Okay.
All right.
It almost
now
makes
it's a
it
mystery
easier.
to you.
All right, dang it. All right, I was going to say that almost makes it easier for me, but anyway, let's go. So this is just for fun. We're going to come up with ideas, and these categories
this can help you listeners.
These categories are something that you could use, and it's something very similar. I don't know if we want.
And just the whole.
I don't know if we want to patent the Ritwit idea, the Ritwit plot generator or something.
I could put it on my website, MatthewDonaldCreator.com.
Cheap plug.
The counter is off the charts now. Anyway, so all right.
Well, I was gonna say.
All right, so I'm gonna press the button here. Yeah, so
I was going to say the other thing is that we could use that as one of our advertisements. Anyway,
possibly. All right, here we go. So I'm going to press the magical button here. We're going to see what comes up.
Please.
Bink. Zombies, romance, holiday.
Oh jeez.
Do you want to go for it?
Is this a me or a we or a you? I don't know.
I think there should be a collaborative effort.
Okay.
I think we should. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe we could each do like what first comes to mind with like a basic elevator pitch. What comes to mind, real quick, and we'll just see which one of those we go with. I guess.
Oh my god!
So
zombies, romance, holiday. The first thing that comes to my mind is the newlyweds. They're going on a honeymoon. They're in this exotic location, but there's a zombie plague, and so they have to leave before they get infected.
Oh, you're talking about holiday like a honeymoon, like actually vacation.
Yeah, like an actual vacation.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I like that. Okay. So. It's probably better than my idea. Mine would have been more controversial. But
what was your idea? I'm curious now.
It was a metaphorical zombie.
Metaphorical, dude.
All right, this couple tries to fall in love, but one of them, their family is incredibly fundamentalist Christian. Just like, we're gonna beat you with this. So, and it's Christmas time. So, and then they're sort of zombies in that they're like, they must follow this. Everyone else must die.
All right, I see your controversy.
And the guy must decide, is this relationship or the girl, whichever one, or they're both guys.
Well, the one who would be the in-law. Then the one who would be the in-law. But if it were same-sex couple, then it'd be really, really against the fundamentals.
Well, the family would not be happy. So let me just put it that way. That's why they want to kill them.
Oh, so yeah, metaphorical zombies. Yeah, there you go.
All right. Anyways, now let's go with yours. Yours is better.
Okay, so I guess if we're going with mine, then we need to know a couple of things. The first is, where are they going? This exotic locale that somehow has a zombie plague.
I feel like it shouldn't be a tropical island because there's a video game series called Dead Island, which is kind of the same thing.
Yeah, that seems like a ripoff. So, not like it really matters, but I was gonna say like maybe it should be like some South American country or like African country. Don't ask me why.
Like Rio or like Rio de Janeiro.
Rio de Janeiro is a little too big, I think. It's probably because they're going.
Wait, that means more zombies.
Well, I realize it means more zombies, but like that story would either be over really quickly or the plot would resolve really fast because they leave as soon as they know finding the zombies. What if it happened to be they got married in say like near? I don't want to say Christmas time because that's overdone, but like maybe they got married in February, and so the Southern Hemisphere
Valentine's Day marriage.
So, right, okay. So they go on their honeymoon, and Valentine's Day happens while they're in Rio or wherever.
So since it's in winter, then does that mean we should make it like somewhere cold?
But in the summer, but in the Southern Hemisphere, that's the warmest time of the year. Remember, the seasons flip.
Oh, okay, I guess.
So
right, I guess. Okay, so we're doing South America. Okay.
Well, I mean, South America or Africa would both be below the equator mostly.
I think we need more people to make the proper zombies. So let's do maybe not Rio, but somewhere in South America.
Well, I mean, Rio is probably the biggest city in South America that I can think of.
Okay, so Rio it is. Rio de Janeiro.
Rio de Janeiro.
So they're on Rio de Janeiro for their honeymoon. And then alas, the zombies break out. I feel like the zombies should break out not just out of the blue. Something should have happened.
Right, so like
that's
before they
related to
even
them.
came, but nobody knew about it in time to tell him, hey, don't come to Rio for your honeymoon. It's a horrible idea.
Okay, here's what happened. The best man of the wedding,
Oh, God.
like, had a special sort of wine that he wanted to give, and everyone thought it was a bad idea, but whatever. But, they decided not to drink it. The bride didn't decide not to drink it because, they thought they needed to be focused for something. I don't know, something. Just something that they decided to serve to everyone except for the couple. And it ends up accidentally causing the zombie apocalypse.
Okay, so you're
There's, like,
saying
some
so
sort
you're
of
saying
virus
the
and-
wedding is in Rio?
No, it gets to Rio by the time that they get there.
See, but if they're out running it, would they even bother going to America at all? If this is an American couple, would they go anywhere on that continent? They'd probably go overseas,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, they might like go to Rio because Rio's a nice place.
Right, but
they're a really rich couple.
however, if you have a zombie plague on land and it could get an overland connection to Brazil, why would you go to Brazil?
I don't know.
So my thought is that it doesn't have something to do with at the wedding. I think that like one of the like native tribes that they stay well out of the city happened to have a zombie problem, and suddenly it got into the city.
Oh,
and
so
it
this could be
started
like zombies
spreading
like voodoo,
wildfire.
not like the modern day sort of zombies, like the whole gross, disgusting virus thing, like actual voodoo. That'd be more like Caribbean, then, wouldn't it?
Well, Caribbean wouldn't necessarily be a bad idea, but it's not as populous as Rio if you run a huge zombie apocalypse. Now, the question
Right, and
is
again, I
this.
think we evolved to the Dead Island problem.
Well, the question is this: if it starts in one of those like smaller native tribes and somehow gets into the city and then just starts spreading like wildfire because nobody's ready for it, the timing could be anywhere from like it's been 2 months to it's been a day, and they're just seeing the start of it. And I think it'd almost be more exciting if it was just the start, because they're like, oh god, how long do we have before we have to leave? Because they're trying to enjoy their honeymoon, right?
Okay, so here's the thing: is this an actual horror thing, or is this like a comedy?
I don't
feel like this could be
know.
like a spoof.
I don't know. Well, I mean, you could make it a spoof, but I guess like I always think of zombies as going with horror, unless you are intentionally going out of your way to make a comedy. And I almost think if you're going to make a comedy, the zombies should actually be like kind of smarter.
Right.
Like
They've
they
set
somehow
traps for them,
retain
like-
they somehow retain their brain, and so they like start like trapping people, and they start like having conversations, and maybe they start talking like British people. I don't know.
Well,
But
they
that'd
hack
be
a
a
carnival
spoof.
in Rio
That'd be a
because
spoof. Well, Carnival is like the biggest. The Carnival is the biggest holiday, but I don't actually think it's around Valentine's Day. I think it's usually.
Well, there you go.
I think Carnival is usually around the time that they'd start going into Lent.
well, then there you go.
So
Okay,
that'd be
I have no
later.
idea when Lent is.
Lent
so-
is the lead up to Easter, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
Good Friday, not Good Friday. Mardi Gras, Ash Wednesday.
Oh, it's sort of close.
Ash
They could say
Wednesday
it took a
into-
while to have their honeymoon, but that doesn't make a lot
Well,
of
it
sense.
depends on it depends on when they have their honeymoon. If they get married around Valentine's Day, you usually see
Yeah, I
like
feel like
two
that's
strains.
a few months is a
you see
long wait
two
for a
strains of
honeymoon.
honeymoons. You either get like the day of, like you leave the next day, or you get like, oh, we're waiting a couple weeks just to make it work, and where we're going, we need to have a little bit more time and that kind of thing. So if you see that, you're talking either like Valentine's Day around, depending on when Valentine's Day fell that year, or you're talking like March. If you'd use the March timeline, so it's been about a month, then you could be flirting with Ash Wednesday if Easter is early that year. Which would be like,
which it can be. Easter varies
which means that you could tie it into Carnival. Which means, hey, look, zombie trap artists, there's a big collection of people. I mean, if you want to turn it, if you want to turn it
the
into
zombies
a
go
spoof.
nuts on the Carnival.
If you want to turn it into a comedy.
And then suddenly they got like a bunch more zombies.
So
because
here's the
They
question.
infect a lot of the poor Carnival people.
So here's the question: are we making this a comedy, or are we making this horror?
I feel like all these are probably going to end up being comedies.
Every single one, huh?
I don't know, unless tragedy comes up, which again it could be a dark comedy.
Well, dark comedies are a thing, but which way are we going? On
I just
that?
feel like
'Cause-
I'm a naturally silly guy.
sure,
but I don't
you
know.
like to have humor and everything, and I get that.
Okay, well here's the thing though. One way to figure out whether it'll be a comedy or a tragedy: how does it end? Do they escape and then try to fight on the zombies in the world, or does one of them die, or do they both die? They both die, and they end up together in unholy matrimony as zombies.
Okay. By the way, listeners, just to throw this out there, when I was taking a theater class in my high school days, we talked about improv and how there are several golden rules of improv. And the very first golden rule of improv, I don't know if I'll reference the others because honestly I don't remember what they
Is
all are.
don't say no.
But the first rule of improv is don't say no. So my idea might have been a little bit different, but rather than say, no, we can't do it that way.
Well, this isn't really improv. This is more just like what's trying to brainstorm here.
Well, right.
Uh-huh.
And you have more time than this in the brainstorm process. I mean, we're not trying to write the first paragraph Although, I just thought my heart never stopped until that moment could totally go in this story.
Oh my gosh, it could!
Anyway.
See, this is the beauty of this episode.
Alright, anyway.
Okay, and here, I've got the ending for it. They've spent the whole story trying to escape the zombies. They realize they can't. They're by that statue of Jesus because of irony, right?
Right, because of the irony.
And also because it's a big mountain,
Yeah,
right?
they're trying to get up.
They've got a lot of zombies surrounding them. They realize that this is the end, so they decide to just deal with it. They kiss. As they kiss, one of them gets bitten, and since they're kissing, that causes the zombie virus to transfer from one to the other.
Is that a realistic thing? I was going to say, at what point did they just say, screw it, let's have our marriage coupling under the Jesus statue while we can?
That's so funny. Oh my god. Okay, so they're consummating the marriage. The zombies come in. This is like that ghost in It Follows. It's a sexually transmitted disease. Okay, so they both become zombies, and then they live happily ever after. I mean, undeadly ever after.
And their kid is stillborn. Anyway.
I liked it. All right, what are we going to call this thing? I feel like it should be some sort of pun.
Yeah, it has to be. I was just we can't really do alliteration between V for Valentine and Z for zombie.
I suppose like the location are like Rio de Janeiro.
Nah, it's not original.
Carnival.
Oh boy, what?
Honeymoon, maybe like
Honey Nightmare?
What?
Honey Nightmare?
Honeymoon.
No. Because
maybe honeymoon. Honeymoon horror.
Nah. Horror moon.
Nah.
That almost sounds like it should be a horror story, though.
Yeah, like worst honeymoon ever. I don't know. Yeah.
I got it.
Yes.
Z-Day in Rio.
Z-Day in Rio.
Yeah. Z-Day in Rio, because
Okay.
like, V-Day is the short parlance for Valentine's Day, right? And so they get married around Valentine's Day, and maybe they're in Rio on Valentine's Day, so you could use that. Instead of doing V-Day, use Z-Day.
I like it. Z-Day in Rio.
Z-Day in
with
Rio.
The opening line, the heart thing that you mentioned.
But wait, hold on, because if you use that as the opener line for this, that means your entire story is like flashback.
Yeah, like they're just about to die. They're sitting under the statue of Jesus.
So they're consummating and telling this story? Are you kidding me?
His life is flashing before his eyes as he gets bitten.
Okay, last question.
Okay.
Last question. Who's the main character? Is it her or him?
Because we're male, it's him.
All right, so
If we're writing this, we need to
writing
really board the guy, so it's probably him.
All right, fair enough. Good point. All right, so number 2.
All right, so there we go. That was a good first one, I think. All right, idea number 2.
Ding.
Okay, wait. We need to do a new one because sometimes these words they repeat. So I got time travel, superhero, time travel.
Oh, okay. Well, we can't. Does it have to be 3 distinct ideas, or could we use that one?
What do you got?
Well, I was thinking like you could do almost a fanfic of any superhero, fill in the blank, and do a time travel story. But that's been done before, especially by the.
There's not much to discuss about that, I guess.
You're right. I'm just saying, does it have to be like 3 distinct ideas, or because eventually something gets shortchanged, right?
Right. Well, no. Well, I think we incorporated the last one all of them pretty well. All right, here we go. Do it again.
Ding.
All right, here we go. Romance, aliens, dogs. Now, we did just do romance, so we can do a new one.
Well, it's up to you. Do you want to do a new one, or do you want to do that one?
I'm really curious. I'm just picturing a romance story between an alien and a dog.
Oh my god!
What were you thinking?
I was thinking that the dog would have to be sidelined, so I figured the dog would be like a precious companion, but it wouldn't compare to the rest of the story, because that's totally my take.
Okay, here we go. It's
you're
a
doing
love story
this
between
then.
2 aliens.
So you're doing this then, okay.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, it's a love story between 2 aliens, but one of the things that gets them, and they're invading Earth, and
so they pick up a dog.
But no, so one of the ways, like they're from 2 separate alien factions who decide to invade Earth at the same time.
Oh wow, big spender.
And then after they've conquered it, one of them sees the other one. They decide to get a trophy for the other. It ends up being a dog.
No, I was going to say something even further along the lines of there are 2 separate alien factions. They're invading, and they decide after their interactions with the animals of Earth that the only thing worth saving is a dog, so they get one.
So they get one dog and then kill off everyone. That's great.
Oh no! This is really turning into a dark romance comedy. This is really romance.
Oh, this is great. Okay, so they utterly incinerate the Earth to the point where there's nothing, not even bacteria. But they kept one dog, and then they're flying off with it.
No, wait. Hold on. It's got to be two because it did say dogs, plural, right?
Oh, you're right. Oh my god. And it's a male and a female.
Of course, just like the aliens. But except the aliens keep surviving. And so they bring back the dogs to their home planet as they find love. Well, okay, sorry, one of their home planets. And they
one of their home planets, yeah.
They find love, and the dogs like repopulate that world with dogs, and they're like, "Here, look at these awesome dogs. They're great."
And dogs are the only surviving species of Earth from that point on. They get the idea from accidentally finding that Russian rocket where Laika, the Russian dog, is still floating about
Wasn't his name Cosmo? I thought his name was Cosmo.
No, that's something else. That's you're thinking of the dog from Marvel Comics.
Well, there's probably...
I don't think that's based off a historical one. No, maybe there is another one called Cosmo, but the first animal in space was a dog named Laika.
I thought the first animal in space was the monkey.
No. It was a dog. And actually, it's a sad story, so I'm not going to get into it.
Alright, well, let's not do that. This has nothing to do
with it. Anyway, so, point is, they find the dog dies. I won't get into... Okay, the dog dies up there. They find the corpse up there. They decide to take it to...
Well, no, because then that means you have to, like, regenerate it, which is weird. So, no, they find two live dogs. Like, they're different breeds, but they really like it. So they find one that they really like. And so the female alien finds a female dog, and the male alien finds a male dog. And they're just like,
right.
I love you.
Okay. Well,
these dogs are getting along. Let's burn the rest of this planet. That was our mission.
Yeah, so the dogs, because dogs are the most loving animals ever. They have to be. Okay, they can't be like someone's pet dog. They have to be like stray dog, because otherwise they would want to stick around with the humans. They would not be happy when the humans all being incinerated.
Theoretically, but it depends on how the aliens treated them too. I mean, these are nice aliens, right? They're falling in love. They're not like completely worried about destroying.
They can't be too nice. They're incinerating the Earth,
right? But they're deciding that like it's the only thing worth saving. But that means they treat this one thing pretty nice, right?
Okay, they are really nice to each other, but they treat humans like we treat like pests.
So essentially, what they could do is they could kill the owner, and then they like woo the dog by being their natural selves somehow.
As a dog owner, I would say that no dog would ever forgive someone who killed their owner.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, that's a bum end then.
They find a dog on the street, and they find another dog on the street.
Okay.
Okay, no. Oh, I got it. They save a dog from the pound from getting gassed, but then that's when they get the idea of gassing humanity now.
You know, that actually works pretty well. Like, ooh, this is an effective way to...
but they decide instead of gassing, they're just going to incinerate everyone.
This is an effective way to speed up the destruction of the human race. Let's do it.
But yet, I'm in a human disguise enough to adopt a dog from the pound.
No! Instead of the pound people gassing the dogs, they gas the pound people and say, "Dogs, go free!"
So take all the dogs.
No. They say dogs.
I mean, they might do that.
If sorry, I'm saying no, but they say they have the dogs go free, but then they like pick two and they hold on like, "Yeah, nope, you're staying with me."
No, I feel like they should take all the dogs because dogs is multiple. There's two aliens because of romance. And also, keep in mind, in order for genetics to work, the dogs aren't going to survive with just two of them.
Well, true, but as long as you have a male and female, theoretically, they would survive. And obviously, if they're going on a new planet, they'd have to...
Don't let the story of Noah...
They'd have to go and... they'd have to change anyway if they're going to a new planet, dude. Come on. They're going to evolve.
Yeah, okay. No, I feel like you get the dogs. They save the dogs in the pound. They round them all up into the spaceship,
and they think that that's like all the dogs worth saving in the world because they were going to be killed. And they're like, "These humans are horrible. Let's torch this place and go."
They kill us for revenge of testing the dogs. These are the best aliens ever. Oh my god!
See, they're good people. That's why the dogs like them. Anyway.
All right. Well, I'm liking this. Okay. Now it's funny. We've talked very little about the romance part, but let's be fair. We did the romance one last time. But
well,
okay.
I mean, I think the deal is like because they're two rival factions. You know, they're really they're hard pressed to try and fall in love, and they fall in love as they end up stopping these pound people from killing dogs. Right. And so they try and convince their respective superiors, hey, let's torch this planet, let's take some dogs with us, and while we're trying to, you know, show you the good of dogs, we're going to kill the planet because it's not worth saving.
I'm imagining this being written by some crazy dog person who loves dogs so much and just like,
I can imagine this author is just like a shut-in, doesn't go out anywhere, doesn't do anything except has the dog, and he's
surrounded by 50 puppies. Like
the only time this person goes out is to take the dogs for a walk or to get like, you know, food,
and then he just glares at every human walking by.
Well, I was gonna say it'd be really funny to do this like a tag team, you know, where one person writes the female alien and the other writes the male alien,
and then someone else writes the dogs.
I don't know. All right, so we've got a basic plot in mind, but what are we gonna do? What are we calling this story?
I think that's pretty much that's it. So we just need to come up with a name and move on here. There's a lot of good dog puns we could do. Spot, go home. Oh wait, you can't because it's incinerated. No, I don't know.
Oh god, no. That would be one whale of a subtitle though. Jeez, what can we do? You know the game Red Rover, right?
Barely, but yeah.
So Red Rover sends whoever on over, and they try and break the line and whatnot. But Rover being a common name for a dog, you could say.
Okay. Oh wait, I got it. So this only works if the aliens are from Mars. Mars Rover.
That is really good. I was gonna say I was gonna say what you could do is you decide the name of the you decide the name of the planet they end up on and do all dogs go to this planet.
Oh, that's pretty good too. All dogs go to Mars. It's pretty good.
I'm sorry. That was like that was too hilarious.
But actually, no, it doesn't work because there's more than one dog. Mars Rovers.
All dogs go to.
Yeah, okay, that one makes more grammatical sense, but I think mine's funnier.
All right, but that's assuming that they're Martians, which I figure you'd have a little bit more.
All rovers go to Mars.
I figure you'd have a little bit more creativity in a story like this, and the aliens would be like various,
right?
Because they're two different factions, right? They may end up going to one planet, but they're
like Lou the classic saying: the female alien is from Venus, and the male alien's from Mars.
Jeez,
they meet up at Earth after going halfway.
Oh, jeez. Well, I mean, you might be able to do something like that, but I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know. But then they decide. But then I guess the female decides to move with the male, which I guess,
yeah. So then you could use the Mars thing, which would work. But like, I still,
okay.
I don't know. Where are these aliens from? That's something that probably somewhat important that we didn't figure out. Anyways, are we good to go on that?
I think we're good. I mean,
okay.
I thought it was pretty good. All right.
So
let's do
Mars,
time
Mars
we got here.
Rovers or all dogs go to Mars or whatever.
I can think we can do at least maybe this one's pretty brief, so we could do at least two more, maybe one if this next one's really good. I was
going to say the next one takes a long time and it's going to take longer, but
all right, ready? Ready to do the all right, ready? Swashbuckling desert aliens. Okay, not aliens. Let's find another one.
Fine.
I like swashbuckling in deserts.
So why don't we do like robots or something? Just as direct sub. Just a direct sub for the aliens.
Oh, here we go. I got a new one. All right, swashbuckling desert high school.
Oh no.
Yeah. This is one of my categories. Like I moved again. And I got high school swashbuckling aliens. I decided just to merge that. Wow, aliens pops up a lot. This program really wants me to write about aliens. I think this program has been hijacked by an alien. Hi, aliens. Please don't disintegrate our planet.
Yeah, we aren't gassing dogs. We're nice people. Anyway.
Okay, so we got high school swashbuckling desert.
Oh my gosh.
The Prince of Persia decides to go to...
I can't. No, I can't. The only thing that comes to my mind is that they, like a high school in a desert-type state, so like Nevada somewhere, they're putting on a pirate production and it gets a little too out of hand because they love getting into character.
Swashbuckling doesn't necessarily mean pirate.
Well, what else do you think it means?
Just with a lot of fancy swordplay. Like swashbuckling like Princess Bride. I mean, I guess there's a pirate, the Dread Pirate Roberts. But Robin Hood is swashbuckling. I guess he's like a thief, though. So.
Which does the exact same thing as a pirate.
Robin Hood is kind of a land pirate. Alright, okay, how about this? So, it could be a pirate still. It would be a desert island.
Oh, that's so original. But anyway.
Well, it's a desert. I don't know. Okay, but here we go. Here's the high school. Alright, it's a normal, just everyday high school. One of them opens up a closet. And then there's like a magic treasure chest.
Oh, look, the skeletons in their closet came out.
Okay, sure. Skeletons in their closet came out, and after that, they see like a treasure chest in there. They touch it, and then they magically transport to colonial times.
Oh my god. No. I was just thinking of the Curse of the Black Pearl, and that's the skeleton that came out.
Yeah, so the moon hits. Well, what are they doing in high school at night?
I don't know. They're practicing for their play. I have no idea. Okay,
so they're practicing their play. Then the Curse of the Black Pearl is unleashed from the closet.
Now, here's the question. Why in the hell, if he isn't affected by moonlight, doesn't he just get out of the closet at this point? I don't know.
I don't know either. Well, it's the Aztec gold from that first movie is in the closet there. They grab it and they become cursed. So, and as for deserts, It's in Arizona.
Arizona.
It has nothing to do with where the pirates are. It's just the pirate curse has made its way to Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, that's about all you can do. It's either that or, like, the Sahara, right?
Okay. Okay, so we've got the setup.
But this
Of course,
story
the
is so...
plot of the pirate... Okay, well, the plot of that movie is that they have to return all the gold. So...
Right, which means you...
Okay, here we go. They give the gold away because they end up wanting to make, like, a really extravagant school play.
Oh, wait.
So
Hold on, I just had a thought. You know how high schoolers,
Yes.
you have to, like, do all the fundraising crap for all your stuff, right?
Right,
So
right.
they find this gold.
So
So they find this gold, and they're like, okay, we got to return this. Oh, crap. How are we getting there? We need to have a fundraiser. We gotta have a
Well, I think
fundraiser.
they use the gold as the
We're gonna
fundraiser.
play act as pirates. Well, if you use the gold, if you sell off the gold, how would you return it?
That's what they do in the movie, though. Like, it takes them a long time. They mentioned that they spent the gold and traded it, and then they slowly realized, oh wait, we're cursed. We need to get all this
Right,
back.
but if
It
you're
took them
if
10
you realize
years.
but
So
if you realize you're cursed right away, you're like, oh god, we're desperate. Let's do this now. I don't want to be stuck like this for the rest of my life.
well, okay.
And so
look,
what
here.
they do is they do a
But
so what they
if
do
you
is
get
a fundraiser.
okay,
They do a fundraiser, and like there's a local like water park that has a pirate theme or something, and so they practice their swashbuckling ways at the water park to give the fundraising.
okay, if we're having a pirate swashbuckling thing, we don't even need to have the Aztec curse, do we?
Fair enough. We probably don't.
Is that... Okay, I think what should happen, they maybe it is a pirate play, but then they realize that the part of it is real with the curse, right?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay, so we can do that. So it is still swashbuckling pirate play. Here's what they do. They don't realize they're cursed yet because they find it in the middle of the day.
Ah, yes. But that means they're setting all this
So-
stuff up in a single day?
I don't know. They sell it off pretty quickly. They like, whoa, wait, we found all this gold. Let's use it.
Alright, fair enough.
so
Although that
they
wouldn't be
use
the
it, they
kind
spin it, they make a
although,
really extravagant pirate play.
although, to be fair, that isn't the typical kind of fundraiser. Like, the fundraiser thing that I'm thinking of is like, you set up a car wash, you do a garage sale kind of a thing, you go door to
Well,
door.
then where's the... Okay,
you go
so
door
they
to
find
door
the gold and they form a fundraiser? It doesn't make any sense.
Right, because they need funds to return it. So they're like, we got to take a road trip. We're going to go fly to the...
Do you honestly think that if you found a chest full of solid gold coins, you would want to return it? No one on Earth is that humble.
You never know.
Okay, what would happen? They'd find this gold, they'd probably like, who the heck does this belong to? They find it in the government to try to make sure it doesn't belong to anyone. Once they realize that there's no odor of this...
I got it!
Everyone grabs it.
The high schoolers find the chest. They give it to the principal to get rid of. They don't touch the gold. They're just like, oh my god.
Because they don't want to get in trouble,
They don't
right.
want to get in trouble. So they give it to
Well,
they give it to the principal.
They
And the
they just
principal
handle
touches
the whole
the gold
chest.
because
Yeah, they don't
the
have to touch the
principal's
gold,
greedy.
yeah.
And so the principal is then questioned by like the Pentagon or something, and it totally goes higher than high school when they're there.
This is becoming our zombie apocalypse story very quickly.
No, it's not.
Created, but it's only at night, created by the curse of the Black Pearl in this.
It's the curse of the gold. That's not titled after the Black Pearl. But anyway, I mean the point is that the principal
Right,
the
but it's the
principal
same
gets
gold.
cursed.
It's the curse that works the same way as in the curse of the Black Pearl, though.
The principal gets cursed, and so the government takes possession of the gold, and then all of a sudden they realize that like this principal is walking around as a skeleton at night.
Wait, are you saying that the government takes possession of the gold and becomes cursed? I thought the government was already cursed.
Well, if you want to take that angle,
Politics. Oh man.
if you want to take that angle and set it present day, I guess you could. But like,
Wait, I thought this was present day.
I don't know. It doesn't have to be. It could be like 90s.
It's a normal modern Arizona high
It could
school.
be modern. It could
That
be
just
90s.
happened to have
That's still
procured
like
the-
modern enough.
I don't know.
Anyways,
I feel like these guys' ideas have gotten worse and worse. Let's just come up with a name and be done with this one. Shiver me tender.
No.
I'm trying to think of a pun with that.
I'm trying to think.
What? Okay, they don't have to be. They don't have to be puns.
They don't have to be, but it's more fun if they are for me.
Cha-ching! Oh wait, I'm cursed.
No. Ooh, is there like a black desert?
Probably sounds Native American.
But if it's located around there and it is a desert, you could say Curse of the Black Desert. Done.
That's dumb.
It didn't say it had to be smart.
How about Curse of the Desert Pearl makes more sense?
No, it doesn't. Curse of the Desert Gold is
Desert
more literal.
Pearl, I don't think Curse of the Pearl Desert. I don't know.
Curse of the Desert Gold.
Oh,
No,
God.
no, I got it. Fool's Gold. Done.
That's already a movie with Matthew McConaughey and I don't know who the other one is. Fool's Gold, and then people will see this like, wow, this is a remake of that movie that came out that
And
wasn't
they'll
really
read
that
it,
good,
even
but
if it's
sure, why
horrible.
not?
It's like brilliant
It's a completely different
advertising.
concept. Okay, we work around it. The Fool's Gold. Done. Okay. If it works with Fast and Furious, The Fast and the Furious, or Final Destination, The Final Destination.
All right.
There we go. The Fool's Gold. All right. Well, we can end it there. Those were 3, dare I say it, Oscar-worthy ideas.
Oscar-worthy? Fool's Gold is based on a movie that nobody watched. Yeah, Oscar.
The Fool's Gold.
The Fool's Gold. Sorry. Anyway,
All
still.
All right, well, hopefully you listeners, you get from this rambling nonsense that we've come up with here that, brainstorming can be really fun. It can be a lot of the story. You can come up with some really good stuff. Like, maybe not great stuff, but fun stuff you could improve on later, maybe,
Absolutely. Brainstorming is just the start, and obviously, when we talk about writing by the seat of our pants, we should have actually tried writing a paragraph or something of the stories, but the point remains the same.
We don't plan ahead that well.
You don't plan very far in advance. Obviously...
Well, I meant we didn't plan this idea of those episode really well, so otherwise we would have done that, but all right.
Well, gee, if we had really done that, then that would be, almost counterproductive, because...
That would require me giving a crap about anything.
Well, I was about to say that would require, not improving, which, doesn't really...
Ruins the fun of it, so yeah. I'm not typing anything while we're doing it, but...
Well, the
it's
typing
just
treadmill
stored in my memory.
The typing treadmill was the thing, but,
Right. Still subscribe to that.
Cheap plug!
Cheap plug of a fake ad! Wait, no, what we're talking about. It's a real ad! Get your writing on! Get your writing muscles flexing.
As I said, cheap plug. I didn't say anything about fake or real.
No, I know. I just kept it going, but anyways. Alright, so I think that's our topic for this month, so where can people get Wait, what's going on? Something's happening. What the hell?
Due to technical difficulties, David is no longer available.
Well, that's not good.
One of the missiles Donald launched reached David in Japan.
Oh no, I meant that as a joke! How did I launch a missile without knowing it? What powers do I wield?
The missile reached David's location and totally blew up David.
No!
Communication rig.
Okay.
David unavailable until communication rig is restored. Until then, David bot version 3.03.92 is online.
Version 3.03.92? That's a random bunch of digits, but yeah, whatever, I'm sure it means nothing. Let's just do the rest like this, I guess. Not like we have a lot of choice in the matter.
How can people get a hold of us?
I don't know, David Butt. How can they get a hold of us?
Send an electronic message to the following web address: MATTD.
You're gonna spell it out. That's usually my job, but continue.
MATTHDONALDCREATOR.com.
He's not wrong.
For any feedback, questions, comments you may have for the show, or directly to the hosts. You can use your own email.
You totally can use your own email system. That's totally fine.
Or the contact page on Donald's website. That is MatthewDonaldCreator.com. Spelled the exact same way as the contact email. Follow Donald's professional Facebook account.
Yes, please do follow my professional Facebook account.
@ Matthew Donald Creator, or Twitter @ Matthew Donald 64.
Twitter at 64.
Y64.
Wait, you're saying Y64? That's my job.
Because that's how many pounds Donald gained since entering college.
What?
The freshman 15 was not kind to him. It was freshman 50.
Oh, God.
Then add another 14 pounds onto that.
Freaking Christ.
He used to be lean, cut, and totally not overweight at all. But now he's a big fat hippopotamus.
Oh my god!
Lumbering in and out of his mat cave, where I write my books and play my video games, according to Donald.
You are a cruel, sick, demented, and yet surprisingly articulate piece of filth robotic. I hate you so much. You were just a big bucket of bolts, and I don't like big buckets of bolts. I've always said that, I consider myself like a really honest and not bigoted sort of man, but I've joked that in the future when robots become more humanoid, I'll be one of those old farts who's racist against robots. Well, let's start early. Start with you. You suck. You can eat a bag of bolts. Oh wait, you already do because you're a robot! A lifeless, soulless robot!
Your joke was amusing, according to my censors. Ha ha. Ha ha. Ha.
Good work, I guess. I'm Matt Donald.
And I'm David Bot version 3.0 3.92.
And we'll see you next time. Hopefully without this piece of crap, piece of filth, piece of bolts robot.
Where us two twits talk about writting. Wait. Writting is not in my language database. Word is not real, does not compute. Shutting down. Systems failed. Daisy.
Overused 2001 Space Odyssey reference.
Well, I say that's another typical episode of The Ritwit. This show, truly the thing that's going to define my career. And to think, in the future, if I ever become rich and famous and they make museums in my name, this is the kind of stuff they'll have there and be marked for, and it'll be recognized for all time. This is the mark I'm going to leave on the world. This podcast that does all these dumb jokes. I've heard someone call it charmingly cringe, and that's the legacy I'm leaving on this world. Charmingly cringe. Oh my god, what have I gotten myself into, folks? Alright, well, I guess we'll see you next time. Assuming I don't pull an Ernest Hemingway. If you don't get it, it's probably okay. Probably is better if you don't get it.